Hi guys, welcome to this episode. Today I'm going to be talking about the Canon 90D and the menu settings, aperture, shutter and ISO, and also the touchscreen settings on this particular model. So this is a brand new camera. It is the Canon 90D. Okay, so it's the Canon 90D with a 50mm lens attached to it, and it's a really lovely camera, to tell you the truth. I've just been sort of playing around with this for the last day or so, and you know, there are some lovely features on this camera. So today I'm going to be talking about the menu on this camera. So I've switched the camera on, so it's on, it's in manual mode over here. So if you're not sure what I'm talking about, so it's manual mode and the camera is switched on. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to play around with some of the settings on this camera. So literally go to my Q button. So you got to press it a couple of times, 3 times, and it will take you to your menu, and then click on this Q button, and then in here you've got all your settings. Now this camera is touchscreen. Some photographers still like to use all the buttons. You know, I'm one of those as well, but obviously this camera does have touchscreen capabilities. So all you need to do is essentially click on the Q button and then click on this button here, and it gives you options to change the shutter speed. So you can click on that one there and literally sort of hover through like this and change your shutter speed to where you want it to be. So shutter is basically, there's a little gate in the camera and it's going up and down, and the bigger the number, basically the quicker the shutter's closing, and the smaller the number, basically the slower the shutter's closing. So more light will be going into your camera, into your CMOS sensor, which this camera has. So it's got a pretty decent sensor. It's got a very good processor, Digit 8 I think it is. So those things will give you some real crisp qualities. Obviously you need a good lens as well. So I would, you know, recommend you some L lenses to get that better quality imagery as well. Then you've got your f-stop. So if you click on your f-stop, so f-stop is your aperture, and the aperture is basically a round diameter circular shape that opens and closes. So for example, if it's on 2.8, then that's obviously a smaller number, but it's a bigger opening, so you're letting more light into the camera. So it's very useful for specific things. Maybe you're shooting in a dark environment and you want more light to go in to get more exposure. And the bigger the number, obviously the smaller the opening and less light will go through you to your sensor. And that's more useful for outdoor maybe environments, maybe in a sunny day. So you can select it like this, which is very useful. Then you got your ISO, which is the sensitivity of light, and all you do is you click on that, and you got auto. So I tend to leave it in auto, but you know what? You can probably just sort of change it to whatever you want it to be. So 100, like between 100 and 1,000 is maybe outdoors, and then the higher you go, it goes. This one goes right up to 256,000 ISO range. So you know, the higher the number, the more grainy your image might get. But because it's so high in an internal low lit environment, that might be quite beneficial for yourself. Then you got exposure compensation. So you can control the add more exposure to your image if you wanted to. I don't tend to use that very much, but it is there. Then you've got your portrait, your image effect mode, so you can have it portrait, landscape, fine detail. So fine detail might be good for like portraits, for example, or your auto mode, which a lot of people tend to leave it on. Okay, so that's quite useful. Your white balance. So if you don't know what your white balance is basically the temperature of the light. The Calgon is the mount, so you can increase and decrease the Calgon. If it's on a sunny day, you might want to put it on daylight, approximate 5,200 Calgon, so you can leave it on that if you wish as well. So that's quite useful. And you know, like maybe a shady day, a cloudy day, tungsten light, fluorescent light. So these are useful in, like, say, office environments. But again, if you leave it on auto, your camera will kind of figure out what's the best white balance for the environment. Then you've got all these other things such as your settings, so you can customize it if you want to do as well. One shot. So if I click back on there, AI focus, AI server focus. So these are focusing ratios. Then you've got your auto focus mode. So you can have it. You can select certain dots, focus points, shall I say? You can have a range of focus points. You can have large selection of focus points, or you can have autofocus points. Now I'll do another video on this in a little bit more detail, but these are basically your focal points. Then you got your spot metering. And you've got also here as well the matte shots that you want to take as well. Okay, so all very, very useful features, very touchscreen, very responsive on this particular model in terms of getting to all these features. So that's basically, you click on info 3 times and it will take you to your menu. If you click on this Q button and then click on Q, so this start button, and then press on Q, then you've got your touchscreen. So you've got like literally you can control it via the camera as well. So you've got like touchscreen, and if I click on menu, you can go in here and change specific things. So all those things I talked about, you can do it in here as well. So yeah, thanks for watching, guys. Any questions, please do post, and I'm happy to respond.